Ladies and gents, it is time to crack into the second session of my brand new training split. This one we're hitting back, delts, arms, and a little bit of chest in there as well. So if you are wanting to grow your upper body, this session is pretty much perfect for you. This is the kind of session that as you're walking along the beach, feeling absolutely jacked. So give this one a go, follow along. I'll go through the sets, I'll go through the exercises, and I'll go through a few little tips for each one as well. So we start off like any session with the machine ab crunch. The reason I'm doing this across 3 sessions across the week, is I really want to bring up my abs. It's one of the main muscle groups that I want to build up, because if you want to see your abs, you've got to have the muscle there. Of course, body fat levels do make a difference as well, but you've got to have the muscle there in the first place. So I'm doing them 3 times a week, starting off this session with 3 sets. Now, if you've not got machine ab crunch, you can just go for a cable ab crunch, or if you're a beginner, going for something like a bodyweight crunch is absolutely fine. As you progress though, you don't want to be doing like 30, 35, 40 reps of a bodyweight crunch. So if that's you and you can do a lot, then you probably need to start using an exercise that you can actually load, that you can get stronger at and increase the weight over time. Once we've ticked off 3 sets there, we go on to the first lot of shoulders. Here we're hitting the side delts with a cuffed cable lateral raise. Now again, I'm doing this at the start because it's one of the main priorities. I really want to grow my delts, so let's chuck the first exercise for them in there in the second slot of this training session. Once again, we've got 3 sets here, but don't worry, there's plenty more delts to come. This is just the starting point. So 3 sets. Generally for the delts, same with the abs actually, I tend to work somewhere around an 8 to 12 rep range. Reason being is any lower, it just becomes harder to actually focus on that muscle group. Any higher, and it just hurts too much. The pain actually makes it harder to work close to failure. So for me, the 8 to 12 rep range is really good. For this cable lateral raise, you'll notice A, I'm using a cuff, and B, the cable setup is just below where my hand height is if I just let my arm kind of swing down to my side. Reason being is I want this to be heavy throughout the whole range. I want it to be challenging throughout the whole range. When I'm doing a dumbbell lateral raise, there's just nothing at the bottom because of gravity, right? Gravity is pushing straight down, so there's not going to be any load going through your delt. So when I'm going onto the cable lateral raise, I bring that up slightly to be around about hand height, maybe just below, so that it's heavy in the length and range, and there's just enough in the top, in the shortened position, to actually give me enough challenge, right? So then throughout the whole range, I'm challenging the delt. It's a difficult movement throughout the whole thing, which is obviously going to help me grow some good amount of muscle. So once again, we go for 3 sets here, and then we go on to the high incline Smith machine press. Now, this is kind of like back delts and arms. So this high incline Smith machine press is mostly delts, but it's actually going to be tying in a little bit of chest as well. You'll notice that rather than it being a complete upright, vertical shoulder press, I've actually notched the seat down slightly. So that seat is probably sitting around 60 to 70 degrees. And what that's going to be doing is, especially with that tucked elbow path, going to be bringing in some clavicular fibers. Fancy name of saying the upper chest. The very, very top level of the upper chest is going to be hit, which again is one of my main focus points. I want to bring up my chest, so I'm hitting it a little bit in this session, and then I'm hitting it heavy in 2 other sessions of the week. One of them, by the way, is the chest and back session of my training split, which I've already posted to YouTube on. So if you do want to watch that, I'll link it at the end so that you can have a look at that session as well. So once we tick off the high incline Smith machine press, again 3 sets here, we're going to be going on to the neutral grip lat pull down. Now, a lot of people give this hate. They give the V bar a load of hate, but actually I don't mind it. I think it's good for getting your elbows in front of your body. You get a really nice stretch towards the top of the movement. The only downside is it's a little bit too narrow. So if I had the option, if I had something that was slightly wider, maybe around shoulder width or just inside, I would be going for that. But I don't, unfortunately. So just going for the V-bar is absolutely fine. Once again, 3 sets here. I forgot to mention on the high incline, and the same for this. The first 2 sets are 6 to 10, so a little bit lower rep range. And then the third set of the high incline press and the neutral grip lat pull down are going to be slightly higher, so more like a 10 to 15. Just so I'm working across a couple of different rep ranges, potentially could grow me a little bit more muscle, so I might as well take that chance and actually run the slightly different rep ranges. Now, if you've not got a high incline Smith machine press, you can go for a high incline dumbbell or a high incline barbell press. If you've not got a neutral grip like pull down, I'm not going to lie, you probably just need to change gyms, because any decent gym should have a pull down machine. Now, if you train at home or whatever it might be, then you can just go for like a neutral grip pull up. That will be absolutely fine. But if you do have access to that kit, like, go for it. The Smith machine is going to give you stability. The pull down is going to give you stability as well from locking yourself into that seat. So definitely very good options for you. And that is pretty much the chest and back work actually ticked off, the front delt, chest and back work ticked off from this session. Because like I say, the focus is arms, abs and delts. So we're just adding in a little bit of a sprinkle of chest and back to kind of top up the work throughout the session. Once we've ticked off that pull down, we go into some more delts. And this time we're onto a machine lateral raise, which is actually pretty much identical to the cable lateral raise. It's going to give you a little bit more stability. And you might be asking, like, why don't I just do more sets of the cable lateral raise? Well, once I've done 3 sets, I'm cooked. I need some time to actually chill out and rest before I go into the following side delt work. So, I've got like 3 exercises in between the cable lateral raise and the machine lateral raise, which just allows me to refresh, reset, and go again into the side delt work, and actually make sure that side delt work I'm doing on the machine lateral raise is good quality. So that takes the side delt work up to 6 sets in this session. Then we've also got 3 sets of the front delt from doing that overhead press. And trust me when I say this, if you do this session, your delts will definitely grow. You're giving them enough volume, but also train them progressively. Get stronger at these movements, and I promise you'll be walking around with some seriously large delts. Now, obviously, these sessions they're set up for me, right? They're set up for my personal needs. Maybe you don't need quite as much delt. Maybe you need a little bit more chest or a little bit more back. See, that's actually what we do. So if you're interested and you want to find out how we can kind of help you set up a session that's going to be perfect for you to grow as much as possible, then my Instagram's linked below. You can just drop me a DM and I'll see if I can set you up with something that would work. But anyway, once we've ticked off the side delt work, surprise, surprise, we go into some more delt work, but this time we're hitting the rear delts, okay? This is to complete the session. We've done 6 sets of side delts. We've done 3 sets of front delts. Now we're on to another 3 sets of rear delts to really just round off the session. Here I use slightly higher rep ranges, 10 to 15 personally, because I find if I go too low here, I just end up pulling it in my upper back. Everything in my upper back just turns on and then it takes away from the rear delts. So slightly higher rep ranges here. Tips and cues on this is, I struggle a little bit more on this one to actually connect. So I need to make sure that I'm doing the right stuff and thinking about the right things throughout the set. So for me, I just think about reaching out to the corners of the room as much as possible. This is going to stop your scapula from moving as much. It's going to stop that upper back from coming in so much. And you should be able to feel your rear delts a little bit more. If you've not got this machine, go for a rear delt cable fly. That's a really good option. And I'd say like the B tier option would be a rear delt dumbbell fly. Not quite as good, but still it's going to do the job, right? So 3 sets there. And then we're finishing off the session with arms, which is a fantastic way to finish. And like I say, really rounds off the session. So in these arm set exercises, I'm just trying to choose the absolute best movement here to grow my arms. And the reason is I've only got 1 for biceps and 1 for triceps, so we need to make the most out of it. For biceps, we've got the D handle cable curl behind the back. This is going to give you a really good amount of load throughout the whole range of motion, which means you're going to be challenged throughout the whole thing. There's going to be weight in the stretch, there's going to be weight in the contractor position, and it's definitely going to grow your arms. It's going to be potentially a little bit better than maybe a dumbbell curl would be, because on a dumbbell curl, there's no weight at the bottom when your arm is straight. So potentially, in theory, a little bit better. If you don't connect with this, if you're not a huge fan, then sure, go for a dumbbell curl or another variation. But for me, this is a fantastic movement. And 3 sets, 8 to 12, just trying to train as hard as possible here. It's the only bicep work I've got, so I really send it on these ones. That being said, I kind of send it on all of them, so, send it. We'll do 3 sets there, like I say, 8 to 12, and then we finish off the session with potentially my favourite tricep exercise ever, and that is the incline tricep extension, which is similar to a tricep press down, but you just lie down. You're going to be sat on a bench, lie down an incline with the cable set quite high up. It's going to give you a load more stability, and also I find for me that top position just gets super good stretch in my triceps. And I've noticed on this movement, I'm able to progress it so much faster than I would be with, say, a regular tricep press down, because I'm just taking away all of the other factors. The only thing that can fail here is my triceps, which is bloody fantastic. If you're doing that, you're definitely going to grow, okay? So 3 sets here. I actually do 2 heavy sets here, so 6 to 10, and then 1 slightly higher rep range set with a 10 to 15. So as a little recap, we have done machine ab crunch, cable lateral raise, high incline Smith machine press, the neutral grip lat pull down, then onto a machine lateral raise, reverse pec deck, D handle cable curl, and an incline tricep extension. Abnormally, but for this session, 3 sets of all of the exercises here. Give this one a go and you'll absolutely grow. Now, if you also want to grow your chest and your back a little bit as well, I'm going to link a video here that's the first session of this training split, the chest and back session, which is absolutely awesome. One of my favorite sessions of the week. And then secondly, if you do want to see more videos like this, I'll be coming out with the following sessions of the split. There's 3 more to go. So just click the subscribe button. And if you do that, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Ciao.